Welcome back to another week of virtual art classes with the Lancaster Festival. My name is Karla Young, a licensed K-12 art educator, and I have designed a week of spring-themed art projects, each one linked to the work of a famous artist. I hope you will join me this week and we will spring into art together. Today's project is inspired by the famous artist Dale Chihuly. Dale Chihuly is best known for his artistry working with glass. This American artist is noted as a living legend when it comes to glass sculptures. Chihuly was born on September 20th, 1941 in Tacoma, Washington. His father was a meat packer and his mother was a stay-at-home mom. He grew up loving art and enjoyed experimenting with different types of art materials. He went on to college to complete a degree from the Rhode Island School of Design, and he started working there in 1969. In the glass department, he was able to work on glass blowing techniques and artistic designs. 2 years later, he returned to his home state of Washington, where he founded a glass school. In 1976, his career took a turn after a car accident left him blind in his left eye. This is why he now wears a patch. At 79 years old, he is still involved in creating works of art from blown glass. He makes individual glass sculptures that look like organic bowls and calls them macchia, which means spotted in Italian. Chihuly's work is located in and admired all over the world. So for our first Chihuly-inspired project, you are going to need a coffee filter, some washable markers, and some spray starch, as well as a cup. So you're going to take a coffee filter and spread it out so that it's flat. They're very, very thin, and when we color on these with our washable markers, it could bleed through a little bit. So you don't want to do this on your table or countertop at home. You want to put something underneath for protection. So you could have just any kind of a sturdy piece of paper. This is a piece of cardboard from a Wheaties cereal box. Anything that will protect the surface that you're working on. So I'm going to just choose some random colors and come up with a fun design. However you want to do this, whatever colors you want to use, it is totally up to you. You'll notice from my examples here, when these are finished, they look very similar to Dale Chihuly's macchia pieces. They are melted pieces of glass. They look like a vase. They are speckled with different colors. And our colors will somewhat bleed together when we spray them with the spray starch. So we don't have to worry about making really fine details. Some of the details are going to get lost when we spray it. So just keep that in mind and keep your design somewhat simple. So again, just have some fun. Whatever colors, whatever design you want. You just want to fill up your coffee filter with as much color as possible. This is a fun project for all ages. All right, So I'm going to set this aside. You can see how it's kind of bled through onto the cardboard. That's why I suggest protecting your surface somehow. I'm going to set this aside. Here's one that is completely finished. I'm going to take a cup, position it upside down, and I'm going to take this coffee filter and just gently kind of fold it, shape it to that cup. You can put a rubber band around it if you're having trouble getting it to stay. But for my examples, I didn't end up using a rubber band. Some places where I've seen different directions on this project, they recommend the rubber band. Then you're going to take just some ironing spray starch, and it's kind of fun. You can watch it fizz up on the project. Again, it's nice to keep that board underneath to protect your surface. And you can see that the colors, it's almost a tie-dye effect. They're running together a little bit. But that just makes it look even better, I think, when it's all done. And you're just going to leave this overnight to dry. All right? And that's really all there is to it. Once they're dry, they're going to look like this, and they hold their shape really well. And then I just used a little bit of glue and tacked them onto a 6 by 6 inch square just to kind of make a nice little sculptural display. And then here's the other one. Again, holds its shape pretty nicely. So those are fun Macchia inspired Dale Chihuly projects, just done with a coffee filter, some markers, and spray starch. Another fun Dale Chihuly inspired project is to make a faux glass sculpture or sun catcher. So what you're going to need for this next project is you're going to need to buy some frosted plastic cups. The important thing though is that on the bottom of the cup, inside of the recycle symbol, it has a number 6. Only number 6 plastic works for this project. So make sure you're buying just the cheap frosted cups. These can be found at Dollar Tree, and I've also seen them at Meijer. So what you're going to do is you're going to need a cup, number 6 plastic, and an assortment of Sharpie markers. And you are just going to start by coloring the outside of this cup. I like to put it over my hand and just start by coloring however you want. So we can color this section in a color, as many different colors as you want to use, whatever kind of design. If you want solid sections of color, if you want stripes, if you want polka dots, completely up to you. Okay, so we'll just pretend I did that whole section there, and let me show you. You can also color the end, the bottom of the cup. You can do the rim in one color. You could do the center of the bottom of the cup in another color. Again, you can put a design. I don't really think trying to draw a picture or including any letters or numbers is really going to work for you. It's more just colors and shapes and designs. We could add some stripes, skip a space, add another stripe, skip a space. So however you want to do this. Okay. You can also color that textured portion in the center. So You're going to want to take your time and come up with a nice design on your cup. And then when your entire cup is colored all the way around, you are going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You'll want a baking sheet and protect your baking sheet with a little bit of aluminum foil. So put down a little section of aluminum foil, stick your cup on that foil, and you're going to put this in the oven for 1 to 2 minutes. So make sure you're watching it. It's kind of fun to watch it shrink and melt. And these cups will, after 2 whole minutes, melt down into a very flat disc that you can then hole punch and add a piece of yarn or a piece of string and hang this somewhere as a sun catcher. Here's another example. My daughter, who is 17, did this example for me, and my son, who is 19, did this. He was inspired by Flash, I think, or some kind of a superhero. But they decorated their cups. We put them on a piece of foil in the oven, preheated to 350. Make sure if you're doing this project you have adult supervision, and 1 to 2 minutes is all it takes to completely flatten a cup. Now you might notice this cup here still has its shape somewhat. It's very organic and very similar to some of Dale Chihuly's blown glass pieces. This might have been in the oven 15 seconds, not long at all. I barely put it in, watched it start to curl, and I took it right out. And so that retained its shape somewhat, which I thought was kind of fun. All right, there's all kinds of things you can do with these. Here is an example of attaching multiple Chihuly pieces. I just found a branch in the backyard, used some string, and it kind of makes a nice little mobile sun catcher. So there's all kinds of things that you can do just with melted number 6 plastic cups, some Sharpies in your oven. So I hope you enjoy trying this. I hope you've enjoyed spending another week with me and the Lancaster Festival and creating some artwork with us. We would love to see some of your creations that you've made at home, so be sure to post pictures of your work online using the hashtag Lancaster Festival.